When you come to do your ring work, you're going to need to set up your rings. And what we want to do is give you kind of a baseline, this is what you should do setup. Now, first thing I want, 2 rings with straps on a bar that's relatively high, at least as high as if I jump up, I don't hit my head. So that's going to be number 1, find a good bar, 2 rings with straps. Second thing, the width of the ring. Sometimes in gyms, you come across rings that are skinny and one that's a little bit thicker. Try to find 2 rings that match. Next, the strap width. This is important because if they are too wide or too narrow, it can change the way that the movement feels. Generally, we want to keep the ring straps shoulder width. So shoulder width apart is right about here. For a lot of the work that we're doing in the kipping ring dip program, we want to be able to put our feet on the floor, at least initially at the beginning of the program. The reason why is because we are going to use our legs as an assist to make sure that we are not bearing all of our body weight down if we aren't ready to do that just yet. So what we want to do is bring the ring up, and we want the bottom of the ring to be about the height of your bottom rib. So that's right about here. So I'm going to do this with 1 strap first. Lift it up, not quite high enough, a little bit more. It's about right. So now, instead of separating these and trying to set it and eyeball it, what we want to do is move the rings together. We can see side by side if the rings are the right height. Clearly they're not, so I'm going to make the adjustment here. Pull down on the rings to make sure the straps are tight, and I can feel this one's still a little bit high, so I take a little tiny bit of slack out. Now, if that looks good like it does to me, then what we can do is separate them again, and then we want to get rid of the excess material here. It depends on what kind of straps you have. Some straps, they've got the clip, and so you just clip it in there and it's done. But these ones, because they have this type of adjustment, we want to try to roll this up. Now, also a lot of straps come with this Velcro, right? In the Velcro, over time, it just doesn't work very well. So we're gonna roll this up. And when it's about this far away, we wanna take this strap, put it through the middle, and then we're going to flip it and over itself. You grab the main rolled up part, pull it through, and we can pull it tight. Now, it's still dangly a little bit, but and if necessary, we can make small adjustments, but for the most part, this thing is not going to come flopping around, hitting you in the face, so we can go ahead and hoist that up. If you do have the Velcro and it is actually sticking, you're welcome to wrap that around just to prevent a little excess floppiness. Pull it up toward the top, and that's how we're going to set both straps. Now that we have both straps set for the right height, let's talk about hand position. On the rings, there's only one hand position that really works well and is comfortable enough to support your body weight on top. That's going to be like this. You take your hands from the back side and grab the bottom. At the bottom here, you should have your thumb on one side of the ring and your palm on the very top of it. In this position, when we actually apply load, you're going to see just a little bit of wrist wrinkle right there at the top. If your hand is too far over, there's no wrinkle in the wrist, and that puts a lot of pressure on your thumb. Over time, that becomes very uncomfortable. And if you do this in a ring muscle up and all your body weight is on your thumb, then your forearm is now pressing against the ring. Try not to do this. We want to make sure that the palms are facing the floor. And we also want to avoid having the ring too far toward the knuckles. If the ring is too far toward the knuckles and we jump up, our palm is unsupported and all of our body weight is going to be bending that wrist backward. It's very uncomfortable. It could lead to a little bit of strain or injury on your wrist. So just make sure that the bulk of your palm is on the very top of the ring. From here, we can check, press down, and pretty solid. Now, if you are having a hard time holding yourself up, there's two options, or you can do both options. If you're having a hard time, maybe you jump up and you feel like you're coming down. Jump up and you just keep slipping down. You don't feel strong enough in this position. First thing you can try is putting the top of the straps closer together. What this does is when you jump up, the straps are here, and the rings naturally want to fall toward your body. If they are falling toward your body, going downward, this is an easier place to seat yourself. You do feel a little squeezed in here, but it's much easier than when they are extra wide. If they're extra wide, then the straps will be in this way. The rings will be closer to your body, and the straps will have a lean, and they will tend to want to go outward this direction. We're not trying to do an iron cross on the rings, and so we want to make that adjustment as necessary. For many movements in the program, the most important thing is to be in position, not necessarily under the most load, which means sometimes if you feel under fatigue, you're about to fall off the rings because you don't have enough strength left. That's completely understandable and okay, but we still want to be in that position. So what we want to do is we want to utilize a band. By putting the band over the ring, just like this, just straight through on both sides, we can add a little bit of help. Having the band like this, we just place our hands on top of the band, just like this, pressing down on the band to make sure it doesn't slip. And when I jump up, it keeps the rings from moving around off my body. This is very similar to the feeling of jumping up on two bars that are side by side, two parallel bars or dip bar, and it doesn't move. So it's easier on your body. If you want to make it more difficult, you can loosen the band or just loosen one side of the band like this. So when you jump up, there's only a little bit of assistance here. Either way, you want to utilize the band to make sure that you get into the positions that you need to. With the catch position down low, you're going to want to put your chest over the top of the strap. Getting into this position may feel a bit odd at first, but basically put your lady or man boobs over the top of the band and lean into it. In this position, the band is supporting some of my body weight because I'm leaning on it, but it's also preventing the rings from sliding out to the side, and that's how you will use the band. We don't want to put our knees on the band like this, because a lot of the movements that we're going to be doing in this program require you to swing your legs around. And if you can imagine, have that come slap you in the face while you're trying to concentrate on the movement, it's not something you want to worry about. Keeping it up near your chest is the best way to do it. You can even do this during ring dip negatives, coming down this way, and then it will support you as you come down.